Hi, I'm Pam, and this is my monthly update video letting you know everything that I was up to in the month of June. Hey everyone, hope you are all doing well and surviving the heat. I have been fairly busy lately. I managed to get up 3 videos last month. I finally made the hot takes video, which I had collected hot takes for a couple months ago. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted those. I used as many as I could that I had reactions to, and I've been making little shorts highlighting some of them, which has been kind of interesting. Shorts is a medium I have only dabbled in. Sometimes I'm like, is there a point to this? But I guess that's what people are mostly watching now. I still like my long form videos though. There was a new episode of Point and Drink Adventure as usual. Last episode went almost 2 hours. Michelle and I had a ton to talk about, and we were pretty buzzed by the end of it, honestly. But it was a fun episode, and if you haven't watched that already, I will have a link to it in the description below. Now let's get on to the games that I played in June. There was some exciting new releases and some replays of things that I, just kind of wanted as a sort of comfort game. First of all, though, I played Mina the Hollower. This is from Yacht Club Games, and I think it just came out in June or maybe at the end of May. I did get a review code for this. Mina the Hollower, I have very mixed opinions on it. I know everyone's like, game of the year, I love it. This isn't one that I was particularly excited for. The Zelda-like is not super appealing to me. Like, I've played sort of top-down action adventures like those that I've enjoyed, but it's not like, oh yeah, give me one of those. Also, the sort of GB color graphic style doesn't particularly do anything for me. I thought this game did some things really well. Just in case you don't know already, Mina the Hollower is like a top-down action game. I would say it's a combination of Zelda and Castlevania, but it takes some of the worst parts of Castlevania, where you play Mina, this little mouse who can hollow through the ground, and she has been called to this town to repair towers that she had originally made. And you do platforming and combat and a lot of exploration. The exploration is absolutely what had me hooked onto this game. There are so many little secrets and breakable walls and things you can burrow under, just tons of things to find and little shortcuts, and just exploration of this game was truly a joy. Combat, didn't care for it at all. I think that the 4-directional combat is just really not my cup of tea. It feels very outdated for me. You don't have a dodge. Instead, you have your burrow to avoid enemy attacks, and the burrow takes a second before you can actually pull it off, which means you need to really anticipate those enemy attacks. There are 5 different weapons that you can use, and then there are also a ton of trinkets that you can find that change your gameplay in all sorts of ways. So this is really a game where you can create a build that works for you, which again, isn't something that's that appealing to me. I like for a game to have like, this is what the gameplay is like. And there are little tweaks like, oh, do you have a sword, or do you have a mace, or do you have a whip? But I don't love the fact that you have to really do trial and error and try all these things and combine them to find a build that works for you. That's just not really what I look for in those types of games specifically. I thought the platforming was fine. Some of it was fun, some of it was less fun, but the exploration in the game is really where it excelled. The world was also very intriguing. The characters were cute, just lots of little charming interactions and things. They did some interesting things, particularly at the end of the game, which I really liked, sort of narratively. Now, I did find that the beginning of this game was way too hard, and it is a game that gets easier as you go, and if you have certain builds, it can get very easy. But as soon as I started and I saw that you drop your fucking stuff when you die, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. If I have to play like this, I'm just gonna not play at all. So I immediately went into the options There are like 250 modifiers in this game. Difficulty options make the game easier, make the game harder, don't drop your stuff, move faster. Like, so many options to do, which I appreciated being able to turn on assist mode, because if I was dying and dropping my stuff, I wasn't going to have a good time at all. But it also made it feel like the game didn't have a real identity. Like, there is no Mina gameplay, because the gameplay could just be so different depending on how you're playing and what trinkets you found. You use sub-weapons like in Castlevania, and these can be fun, but they also take the Castlevania way of picking them up. It's, you know, it's a surprise when they drop, you immediately pick it up, and then you have to stand there for a few seconds to re-pick up the one that you just dropped. There is knockback from attacks, and after I'd finished the game, I was sort of complaining in Discord about the knockback, and someone said, oh, I found these shoes that just completely nullified knockback. And I never found those, but that would have really changed the way the game went for me. So I don't love that there's no core experience to the game. Yeah, I don't love that turning on assist meant I got 0 achievements. Well, I got a couple because I beat a couple bosses before I turned them on. But yeah, I thought Mina was great for exploration, but kind of frustrating in most other ways. So yeah, I'm the outlier here. Most people love it, but I thought it was pretty mixed for me. The next game I played is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. This is from WayForward from 2014. This is one that people have recommended to me a lot. I remember I did start it a ways back and it didn't really hook me. But after Mina, I was kind of looking for something a little on the simple side, and Shantae is on the simple side. This is sort of a Metroidvania, but it's not all one big interconnected map. You take a ship from location to location, and then within each location, there's an interconnected map that you have to sort of like, you have to travel back to old ones in order to use new abilities and get collectibles and things. And I found that Shantae was, first of all, I found it was strange that all the characters are like vaguely sexualized, but also the whole package is kind of childish, which I just thought was kind of weird. I found that it was just a very fine game. Like, it wasn't particularly memorable to me. It was mostly on the easier side, though occasionally they had like a span of platforming or something that would take you way back if you failed. The abilities were pretty standard. There was one ability I really liked where if you ran for a certain amount of time, you could start charging and you could just charge right through enemies and sometimes even right through walls. And that was definitely the most interesting part of the game. But I found it overall just kind of unmemorable. And I didn't love that at the end, there was very clearly a bad ending if you don't collect all of one certain collectible, which, I don't know, just kind of sucks. But it was a fine game. The next thing has been something that has been on my to-play list for a while, and that is Harvester. This is by DigiFX Interactive, and it came out in 1996. It is an FMV point-and-click adventure game that turns into a combat-heavy game at the end, which I wasn't a fan of. But the game is bonkers. Like, it is so weird. You wake up, you're this kid named Steve. You wake up in this like 50s Leave It to Beaver but sinister kind of world. You don't recognize your mother or your kid brother or anyone around you. You're apparently engaged to the girl next door. You don't remember everything. Everyone's like, oh, Steve, you're such a kidder. And just everyone in this place is weird. One of the first things you see, you look at your little baby sister and a wasp crawls out of her mouth and she eats like a tarantula. And There's a wasp woman. There's a guy at the missile silo who's afraid the communists are coming, and you can absolutely get him to blow up the town and the world. Just a very strange, grim, very dark game, very like dark sense of humor. I thought it was very entertaining. Like, just because of how weird it was, I found it extremely entertaining. I thought the first 2/3 of the game was pretty good. Like, as a point and click adventure, I enjoyed the puzzles. I enjoyed the wacky things it was asking you to do and all the weird things that you found in town. But then you get to the end of the game and it turns into like so much combat. And throughout the first 2/3, you get weapons, and if you want to, you can just punch people or kill them, although you'll frequently be taken to jail and electrocuted if you do that, depending on who it is. But you can murder people in town, but I didn't do that too much. A little murder when someone deserved it. But the end of it, you are going through these levels where you're just in combat all the time, and you only have so many bullets, you only have so much health, you only have so many health items. So when I got to the end of the game, I was like 3 screens away from the end, actually maybe 2, and I was just out of ammo, I was out of health, I kept getting killed by this one guy, so I had to like reload an earlier save to be better about conserving ammo and health, which is never a really fun time, so that definitely put a damper on the end of the game. But Harvester, very entertaining and very, very fucking weird. The next game I played is Luna Abyss, and this is by Quali, and it just came out last month or the month before. This is a first-person shooter platformer. When I first started playing it, I thought of Returnal, and even though I haven't played Returnal, it looked like a first-person Returnal. So you have some bullet hell kind of combat, but there's no roguelike stuff in it. It's much slower than Returnal, I think, much easier. But you are a prisoner and you have like 9,000 days of your sentence left. And this big giant head comes and tells you you have to go into this world sort of using someone else's body to go explore, find old technologies and things. So that's what you're doing, trying to knock time off your sentence, meeting strange characters that have like super girly faces, but then spider mech bodies and things like that. I felt like there was some pacing issues at the beginning of the game where I felt like I was doing a lot of just travel through pipes, fight a few things, travel through some pipes, fight a few things, and everything was kind of looking the same. But I'd say around 1/3 of the way into the game, and I think I played this for 10 or 12 hours, it really sort of picked up. You started getting more abilities, more guns, the environment started looking much different. I generally just really enjoyed the combat and the platforming. Usually I'm not a huge first-person platforming person, but I did like the abilities you got. You could also eventually learn to take over certain mechs, so there was like little rail segments or things where you're in a giant mech and you're shooting things, and I found the game was a lot of fun. I really liked the boss fights in particular. Yeah, I do recommend Luna Abyss if you're into that type of game. So lately I've been feeling the need for some comfort games, like Dylan's back in America visiting his family, and last month I played Mass Effect. I started Mass Effect 2, though I haven't finished yet, so I won't talk about that, but I really just wanted like a good, comfy, cozy game that I loved. So I replayed Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This is from Ubisoft in 2024. It was my game of the year that year. I had always never quite gotten 100%. I had 2 save files when I started. One was at like 89 and one was at 92. And so I just started a whole new save file with the DLC and things and just went through some amazing Persian platforming and combat. I really love that game. I think it looks beautiful. I think it controls so smoothly. I think it's some of the best platforming in a Metroidvania or any game. I love all those spikes and trying to avoid them. The abilities are just super interesting and you can use them in all kinds of cool ways. I really like the boss fights. I like the sort of big kind of like anime attacks, which is strange because I don't like anime at all, but just like the big special moves. I really also like how the combat, you can get by with just dodging and hitting and using your specials, but there's also like pretty complicated combos and things that you can do if you take the chance to learn them that are really satisfying. Just so many secrets to find. I did eventually get to 100%, although with all the DLC, there was actually like 109% or something. But yeah, I had a really fun time playing through Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown again. Definitely still an S tier Metroidvania. But I wasn't done playing old favorite games. I also replayed Bastion, which is Supergiant's first game from back in 2011. I was feeling that Bastion wasn't quite getting the respect it deserves. So many people are all like, oh, Hades, but Bastion started it all, and Hades is just slightly quicker Bastion with roguelike mechanics on it. Bastion's a beautiful game. It's got fun combat. I love the way the world sort of builds itself around you as you go, and how you can destroy most of it as well. It still has one of my favorite soundtracks of any video game ever. The art is beautiful, the voice acting is great. It's not like a huge story game, but the story that is there is very good. It gives you some choice at the end. There's all kinds of weapons to use and master and ways of modifying them. And I think it's just an absolutely beautiful game. I started it up in the afternoon one day, and then I was just like, oh, I finished it. It just like completely sucked me in, and I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time, or like the second or third time I played it. And lastly, I have really played a lot of Metroidvanias this month. I played through Voidwrought. This is by Power Snake, and it came out in 2024. I had started this game maybe sometime last year, and I quickly gave it up. I find that this game doesn't have a good first impression. I find it slippery, like your character has too much momentum, and getting onto platforms and things like small platforms, it's very easy to try and jump on it and just fall right off of it, which I always find pretty irritating. The dodge that you get at the beginning of the game, which is used as a movement ability to like get through narrow passages, but can also be used as a dodge, just like the length on it is really short and it's kind of slow. When you're first playing, like especially the first boss, the hitboxes, who the hell knows? Is it, there's contact damage, but is it the whole boss? No. Is it the part of the boss that turns red? No. Is it just this little tiny part of the boss? Yeah, probably. It just, I don't know. The first time I didn't really like it. This time I was like, I'm gonna just push through, we're gonna get past this. And once I did get past that first boss and got another ability or two, I did find I liked it a lot more. It's very intertwined. Like the map is super interconnected. It's not at all linear. Like you can go in multiple different directions. The order in which you get the new abilities can definitely change from person to person. The abilities are mostly good. It's mostly the stuff you've seen before. Dash through the air, a grapple. There is one ability I don't love. It's called Slither, which you turn into like a ball of void goo and you can basically go up any surface. So it does kind of negate a lot of the other abilities that you get in terms of your double jumps and your grapples and your wall jumps and things like that. But I also don't like using it. It's very slow. So I found I was still using the other abilities anytime it was possible because Slither wasn't great. It was great to first get it because there's so many like little tiny passages, but they're not on the ground, so you can't use your dodge through it. And so when you finally get it and you go through those, like, oh yay, this is amazing. But There are places where it's just like multiple screens of tiny passages that you have to just slowly slither your way through, and those are really not fun at all. It is on the easier side, which I like. I'd rather a game be too easy than too hard, I'm gonna say it. The bosses after the first one, you could face tank a lot of them depending on how much health you got. But I think the exploration was really the biggest joy of this game. The map was great. There's all kinds of things to collect. Different relics, which can change how your character works. Special abilities that you can use on your 2 triggers, usually different attacks for things. You can increase your health. You can increase your void charges. You're finding collectibles for other characters out in the game. Too much dialogue for me, but I thought the bosses were fun, but mostly it was that exploration. I really liked filling out all of the map. I was actually surprised when I finished my game because though I could see in my menu that I had collected most things, I was only at 76%, I think. So apparently there's much more to the game that I haven't seen, but I generally would say Voidwrought is worth playing. A little uneven at times, not a great first impression, and some of the end stuff wasn't my cup of tea, but especially in the middle and exploring and opening up all of the map was a lot of fun. So that is it for my June update video. Let me know what you've been playing, anything that you've played, anything that you're looking forward to coming out in July, any interesting pickups that you got. I never have any pickups anymore, but thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. If you want to see more, check out one of my other videos here. I have a Patreon, or you can become a channel member if you want to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.